Sorry I brought his name into it, but I really liked him, and now I'm starting to see things, and I'm like, yeah, this just doesn't add up. And I mean, he could have been into all that stuff, before all this, but he's freshly out, and he's got that necklace, and he makes sure to display it. And that's what I'm talking about. If he's a part of that group, I don't know what's going on there. A man's gonna attack the people that hurt him, and I think he attacked a couple of other ones that were accused of doing some bad stuff. Which that you're a hero. You shouldn't have went to prison for that. But if you're doing it just to cover up the fact that you're in with these dirty groups, bro, I don't give a shit how many tattoos these people got. I don't care that they call themselves shot callers, this, that, and the other. I really don't. See me shaking? I shook my head, stayed out of it when these bullshit gangs were moving into my area where I live. Nobody does anything about it. Yep, let's just let, you know, hood rat shit and hoodlum stuff just run rampant. Y'all make no fucking sense. Everything is so twisted up, down, this way, that way. It is so nothing but mass confusion. It's like nobody has no sense of what's right, what's wrong. I don't think they want to. They want to live in their delusional world because that's their safe place where they're comfortable. Remember how they said that, all the stuff that was going on, especially with social media, was unraveling the social fabrics? And it is. Those things are turning us in to lovers of ourselves. They're making us believe that we are gods, ourselves, to an extent. That's what the TikTok's for. That's why they have followers. That's why they try and make you think that you're an influencer or famous. Do you realize what that's mocking? It's mocking Jesus. That's what he did on his own. And let me tell you something. Y'all can keep trying to have that many followers. You will never have those types of followers. You will never be him. That's also Lucifer's problem. That's why he fell. Remember, he wanted to be like God. What is that doing? That's making you try and act like God. What do you want? You want to talk about you, right? Which even I started falling for it, and I started noticing when people were saying, "Well, all you talk about is you," and I'm like, "Well," I tried to defend it. Well, I am referring to what I'm like so people can get to know me, but that's what it does. It starts to make everything I. Then, if anybody does have situations where, they're referring to themselves or, you know, a good bit, it starts to make people jealous and offended to where they start doing things. Sometimes it's a noticeable thing, sometimes it's not. I'm saying what's more regular today is a lot of people trying to act like they are these spiritual white lighters. Oh, I'm a white witch or I'm this. Witchcraft is witchcraft, okay? That's like the devil all of a sudden, trying to be an angel again. And this Uno reverse has gotten so rampant everywhere I turn. If you say something that's against somebody, that's what they accuse you of doing to them. Even though They are clearly the ones doing it. What does that do? It turns everything into a narcissistic, childish fight to anybody else looking at it. Most of it's in text form. You don't have verbal or, body language. You have texting, and yeah, you can tell when somebody is kind of upset or, being an ass or being sarcastic or this or that through text, but not really. You're basically assuming, unless you ask them, and then that's still a 50-50, right? Because then that goes towards, well, are they going to tell the truth? Even though people say they're so blunt and straight to the point, they have nothing to hide. A lot of those people, not all. Don't get me wrong. I'm speaking in general. I'm not saying that every person that does, the stuff I'm talking about, you know, is hiding this or that or this or that. It doesn't. There are exceptions to the rule, but works will show those exceptions. Now, when you're trying to explain details to a person that wasn't around, people are skeptical and hard-headed. Trust me, I know I am. I mean, most people are like, well, why do you cover, a lot of conspiracy theories? Because they're fucking true. That's why. Remember Alex Jones talking about the next thing they were going to pull out was car bombs? What's going on? Cars. The one in Louisiana, the one in freaking, are at Trump Towers. And to tell you the truth about all that, is that all a setup too to make us think that something's going on? Because who the fuck's going to pick a Tesla truck? For one, yeah, it's got to be charged. It has cameras all over it. Really? I mean, yeah, they could probably get in and program it to drive somewhere, but isn't it going to show who bought it? Or what are they going to do? Oh, well, we can't find out who bought it. It was a fake name. Somebody had to order it. There had to be something to get it to the person that was going to do that. And are they linked to anybody else? And people are so lazy nowadays. They see something that kind of seems like a fact, so they're like, "Yep, it has to be this," and they don't check into it any further. They don't dissect it like they used to, just to make sure. It's like if they get this idea in their head and what this person said kind of matches it, all of a sudden, oh yeah, that's it. Doesn't mean that's it. I mean, come on, I had sheriffs trying to tell me they did a forensic investigation, and the way my son almost ripped off his feet in a car is because he went over a back seat and banged his thighs together. You think because my kid looks small and a little skinny that he's that fucking frail? He's not. Gee, why have I been painted as a psychotic mental person that nobody should listen to? Because people have done a lot of bad shit, and I know the truth. That's why. I've always been told, well, you need to go get checked out. You need to. I've already done all that. Where do you think I've found out what I'm diagnosed with? How to control it? Am I going to have people fucking with it? Yes. See, that's the kind of shit that you used to be able to easily take to a police station and show what somebody done to you and be able to get them to, do something about it. Not nowadays. Criminals got more rights than the fucking victims do. And I don't even like to say that word, but that's what people use. Ain't no fucking victim, it's just what happened. I mean, to me, a victim is somebody that lost their life or was like really, really, which, yeah, I guess I did. Just not physically, because I'm telling you, I know I'm small. I know oh, you just got small guy syndrome. No, we don't. Carpet. I did carpet. And I was smaller than what I am now. Are you kidding me? See, this is where that bullshit comes from. Everybody running their mouth, oh, you're too small. You can't do this. You can't do that. Blah, blah, blah. And the only reason they do it is so they can sit over there on their big ass and watch this fucking person prove them wrong. So they don't have to do it. Yeah, what goes on in their mind? Well, I don't believe he can do it, but if he can, then I don't have to do shit. If he can't, then he'll get it at least some of the way. Then I don't have to do as much. That's exactly the way they think. Now, of course, they'll act like they don't think that way, or, I got too much energy. There ain't no way I'm that way. Right, whatever, dude. That's what everybody dreams of, is having other people work under them so they don't have to work as hard. But it's all in how you do it. I'll tell you one thing, man. I have always worked right along with my help. I have always done the hard work right along with them. I've had people say that kind of shit to me when I was younger, but no, they didn't. No, they didn't. I was the type of person that I got to a point where I could handle jobs by myself without my uncle being there. And he would always bitch that he couldn't ride his bike and he didn't have time, to spend with Aunt Yvonne. So I would handle the whole fucking job and tell him, go out to lunch, take the bike out, take Aunt Yvonne out. Well, the one day he took the bike out. He didn't take Aunt Yvonne out, though. I don't even want to get into that either because I don't agree with that shit. I don't care if she says, well, he's at work all the time and I do a lot for the business and the family, so if I want to steal money, I will. But you don't steal it. You don't just take it, spend it on what you want, and just tell him fuck off. You don't do that. Now, if it's for a bill or something that is actually needed, that's different. But when it's something, a couple $1,000 for one little fucking. Really? It took that much money just to make you feel better? I'm not even getting into it because it's just bullshit. Well, she stays home, takes care of the family and the business, and does all that. Yeah, and she gets a paycheck for it too. You don't take extra. You don't do things without the other person knowing. And a lot of times, if they're telling you no, especially if it's a guy, there's a serious reason behind it. It's not just to tell you no. Most guys are, at least how I was, and most of the ones I knew and liked, wouldn't do that. They go out, they pay for dates, they pay for all this stuff, and that's another thing women are trying to use against men now. Trying to use the fact that women are nasty on OnlyFans, saying that, well, it's no different than paying a woman to be your wife. What? I'm not paying her to be my wife. Well, you're paying her to sleep with you. No, I'm not. I'm not out there messing with multiple people in a sexual manner that I could possibly bring something home to my family or anything like that. All because the money's good. Of course, the money's good. That's how you know it's bad. What does that mean? Every job that pays high is bad? Well, that's a fine line now, isn't it? Everybody knows that big business is bad for the environment, bad for people, and they don't give a shit. Yeah, that's where all the problem is. The iPhone factories, all the expensive shit that you motherfuckers say, that you want and put in high demand, and they start spitting out and they don't sell it. They mass produce it, and it ends up giving most of it ends up being given to a discount store. People, I swear, fucking dumb. That is the dumbest thing I've ever heard.